Hello and welcome back, or welcome if you're new. If you're new here, my name is Elena and I am the homeschooling mama to 3 kiddos. And on the channel we talk about homeschooling and homemaking and all the things in between. Today we're going to talk a little bit about homeschooling and how mama needs a break and what we're going to do with that. So at the time of filming, this is the beginning of Thanksgiving week. And then we have Christmas holidays coming up, rolls into New Year's, and then for our family, it rolls into birthday season. We have birthdays for 3 months right after that. So it is the beginning of a whirlwind season, and we are here for that. I'm excited for the holidays, but it has been a little tough around here lately. I personally have been battling a lot of anxiety, and it just takes a lot out of you. Though those of you that have also experienced anxiety know that it just physically, as well as mentally, takes so much out of you. And so with that and the holidays coming up, I really want to be present for my family, and I really want us to enjoy this season together. But I am a homeschooling mama, and I do have a responsibility of teaching my kiddos, and I don't want to neglect that either. So here's just some of the things we're gonna do this week, and maybe even into the week after. I'm not honestly sure yet, but how we're gonna do some more life skills so that we are continuing to learn and grow and foster this education and this love of learning, as well as being able as a mama to take a step back a little bit and just make sure mentally that I am healthy and well and able to serve my family in the best way possible.
One of the first things I'm going to do is sit down with my oldest son. This year, we started homeschooling high school. My oldest son entered into the 9th grade. And so with that is a different set of responsibilities. And so I want to make sure that we're not getting too far behind on his curriculum and things like that. Now, as a homeschooler, you get to set your own pace, which is a huge blessing. And it's just such a freedom that I don't take for granted. But with that, high school is a different kind of level, and it's a different kind of set of responsibilities. So I want to make sure that we are staying on task with some of our goals that we set out for ourselves this year. So I'm going to sit down with my son and take a look at where we're at so far, what we have due, and where we're sitting at curriculum wise, and what can we take off the plate, and what are things that we're like, no, we absolutely should get this done so that we don't get pushed too far back with our goals that we set up at the beginning of the year. So here we both have our planners out. This is my school planner that I have kind of pieced together, and I will link that video if you're interested in seeing it. And then I've had my son take out his planner, and this we do actually every week that we have school. It's called our Monday morning meeting. So I don't want to give this up because I want us to be on the same page. And we just kind of sat down together and brainstormed and really came up with a game plan for the next week. And it worked out great. I'm glad that we're at this age where we can have this kind of conversation.
Another thing we did was visit our library and grab books. This is something we do regularly anyways, but this was an activity that we could do that kind of gave me a little bit of a break because we were able to pick out books, and it was still a learning activity because they're reading and just kind of getting into that. There are some really just fun books that they are looking at, but we also picked up some books that would be maybe a little bit more educational. So we picked out lots of reading, which is fantastic for all the kiddos. We are looking at when our 100th day of school is, so we grabbed that book. We also picked up some activity books that we could do that would be learning activities, but wouldn't be so, I don't want to say draining. That honestly is what some of the days can feel like when you are just battling and trying to get through all the emotions. So this is really fun. This is something we can do outside in nature. We found a great book like that. These books are fantastic. So they're kind of just inviting the kids to do more
hands-on and educational type things, and education is really where you want to find it. You can turn just about every activity into an educational thing. This is drawing, so this is getting my kids, especially for my youngest, him getting used to holding his writing utensils, which was a struggle at the beginning of last year for us, and he's just refining that, and we're kind of nurturing that. These are these Story John books he loves, so we were able to find one there. This is a book we found, the story of Rita Moreno, and then we can talk with especially my daughter about this, but my son also. So just lots of, like I said, fun books, but books that will spark conversations and things. And since mom is trying to take it easy, sitting down and reading is such a great activity for both me and the kids, and it's something that we're gonna sit down and I'm going to give myself grace for. A lot of times I think that I am trying to hurry and just let them read on their own maybe, and not do the couch cuddles and talking and things like that, having the conversations. And so we went to the library and we're going to make it a point to do this. We also were able to get some audiobooks, and our library has this really cool thing where they will put a set together where there's an audiobook and a physical book to read. And so that's just really great activity for them to do. That is kind of a break activity, really. And so we've got this also. Another way we're sort of taking a semi-homeschool break and still doing life skills is going over our chore charts. So we have these are from Dave Ramsey, their website. It is little chore charts that you can get for your kids that are magnetic, and they have a lot of different items. As you can see, my kids kind of all of us, we've gotten away from them, and they've just kind of been playing with these. So what we're doing is going through them. They have lots of different items that you can pick and choose from. So we're going to be going over our chores and picking out which ones they are able to do, and then kind of following along with the plan. So how it works, if you've never seen these, is you go ahead and you put the little magnet down on the line, or these are dry erase. You can see that we've had these a while, and so over the years we haven't erased it in time, and it's gotten a little stained, but they are dry erase as well, so you could always write in your own chores. And so you'll put in the chores that they do, you'll put in the amount that you're willing to pay them for that chore, and then they have Monday through Sunday listed, and so you can mark off the days that they've done the chore, and that way you can keep track of how much money they've earned. And then here in the corner it says saving for, and so they can write down what they're saving for, if they're saving for a special toy or a special activity or anything like that. So they can kind of keep that at the forefront of their mind. And then underneath cost, and they can write down the cost of what it is, and then current amount saved, and they can put down what they have saved, and then they can kind of keep this tally going so that they have that reminder. And then down here at the bottom it has the total, so after you add up the chores, the total amount they've earned that day. And then here at the very bottom it says this week I will give to, and they can put it in, and then this week's commission, and then you put in the price. So with Dave Ramsey, he doesn't call it an allowance, he calls it commission, so that's just what that wording is for. This is another way though that we're going to take life skills, and that is part of schooling, that is part of education. These are things, responsibilities, earning money, saving, all of that counts as education. All of that is stuff that I think when we think of school, we can kind of almost get away from that simple stuff where these are life skills they need to have. So this is another thing we're going to be looking at, and it will help me as well because it takes off some of these things from my chore list and puts it on the responsibility of my kiddos, and then they are able to be learning and doing and just all the good stuff. So this is another little semi-homeschool break thing that we're going to get back to. While we're on the topic of life skills, these are also some life skills that we're doing. We're spending a lot of time in the kitchen this week, not just prepping for Thanksgiving, but also these are some roasted pumpkin seeds that my kids and I did together. So they helped me cut up the pumpkin, they helped pick out the seeds, and then we looked up how to roast them, and we did that together. And that was something that they can do in the future if they want to as adults, or they can just, it makes for fun memories, but it's also a learning tool. It's something that they've learned to do, and learning to not waste, how we can use up
what we have. So here we bought some mushrooms and we diced them very small and we put them in the dehydrator, and the kids got to see that process. Same with this. These are apple slices we did. I know my screen is really dirty, but these are vegetables that my daughter and I put in the dehydrator this morning. And so we have those going. And then we also did, with the apples, we are trying to make some fruit leathers. And so that is something that is in the life skill department that we're doing. Obviously, the life skills could include cleaning, because you can see my oven door is pretty dirty. But this is another great way for me to take a kind of mental step back from the paperwork of school and worksheets, things like that. Not that those things are bad, and we will be getting back to those things. But right now, like I said, we are just trying to take a little semi break, and this is a great way to do it.
Kind of going along with chores is letting them tidy up some bigger spaces on their own. So in this area is where we have most of their toys located. And normally, honestly, I would go in and just tidy it up and ask them to keep it clean. But this time around, I really sat down and I was like, hands off. I just kind of sat there for a little bit and told them we're going to separate out, and this is how we're going to step by step clean the room. And they did it. And my mind feels better because there's one less place in the house that's not as cluttered. Is it perfect? No, but is it better? So much yes. And then lastly, don't underestimate the power of play and the learning that happens when our children are playing, especially the younger ones, but even the older ones, when they are able to just use their imagination and kind of just build and play. I mean, I have no other word except for play. But that is so much learning. There is so much happening with their little brains. And for us as mamas and caretakers of them, it's just a great time to be out there and really enjoy the simplicity of it. Hear their laughter, hear their imagination. Just take a step back from the hustle and bustle of life. And for me personally, the worry and anxiety, and just really enjoy it and see how truly, truly blessed we are. So that is it for my video today. If you like this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already, maybe consider subscribing and joining our little YouTube family. If you have any more suggestions on how you take a little homeschool mama break, let me know in the comments down below. I would love to know. Thanks again for watching.